Welcome to week 4 of On Top the Cage. What's happening, buddy?
I suck at this.
We're not going to get to last week yet. We do always do a little intro and things like that. Talk about what happened since we last saw you all. So
Ken turned 50. That's what happened.
I did. Dan was over here. It was actually Sunday, the Bears-Browns game. Dan and his wife Tammy came over. I didn't get to ring the bell at all, the new addition to the Flying Turtle Lounge here, because the Bears did not score a touchdown.
Didn't we ring it, though? Just to bust your nuts?
Somebody rang it. I was out using the outdoor facilities during one of the timeouts, and I did hear it ring, and I started yelling, no, you're not allowed to do that. But it didn't go well, but we'll certainly get into those games in a bit. We had birthday parties. Yeah, Dan mentioned my birthday. It was great. Made some, sausage and peppers out here. Like I said, Dan and Tammy were over here. You had more birthday parties to go to, though.
Yeah, we went, my mom's birthday party, or last Wednesday when we taped was her birthday, and then my brother turned 50 as well, so it was a surprise party for him. He thought he was just showing up for my mom's birthday, but there was a ton of people over there for him, so that was pretty cool.
Was he surprised?
Yeah, he was surprised. They kept the secret from him, but it's pretty easy. I mean, yeah, mom's birthday's coming up. We always show up there Sunday, around her birthday, 4:35 o'clock, so he just thought it was the same old thing. But, yeah, there was a ton of people there, so it was a good time. My brother from Chicago even flew in that day.
Well, that's awesome. Makes sense, though. And might as well come clean about what happened last week. And it kind of ties into Dan's brother Eric's surprise birthday party. And Dan and I filmed a 53-minute show. It was a pretty raucous show that nobody will see because we failed to hit the recording button, or our help failed to hit the recording button. I had given up the bag in regards to Eric's surprise, so that was the only good thing that came out of that. So one of my friends, Sammy, commented on, you guys seemed a little drinky. It was because we filmed the show before and drank a pretty high-octane beer before as well. So, but coming clean, so we shot, I don't know, a good hour and 45 minutes of show last week with one episode.
And at least I still sucked.
Didn't change the outcome, that's right. We are shooting the show this week on Tuesday because my wife and I are going to the Dave Matthews Band show at the Blossom Music Center up in Cuyahoga Falls. We're looking forward to that tomorrow. We don't have the injury reports that usually come out on Wednesday and things like that, so we don't have a little bit or pieces of the information. So, but that will be just fine. Other news that happened this week, those who watch the show probably heard me talking about the Bronco late last season because I ordered it the second day that you possibly could, and I want to say it was early January. And the Ford Motor Company thought it would be here in the spring. Spring went by, I'm getting emails, there's issues with it was originally the chip, and then it was the hard tops. And then summer goes by, fall goes by. The lease on my vehicle that I previously was due in July, I extended out to October. They wanted their car back. I wanted to give them their car back. So what happened on Friday is my good buddy Jeff, he's the general manager at Park Ford, one of the Ford dealerships where I ordered my Bronco from. I turned my vehicle in, and he did me a real solid. He gave me their only full-size Bronco on the lot. It's awesome. It's everything I thought it was going to be. It's chunky, it's rugged, it's all that. So it's right over here. It's in that kind of wild color. They call it Area 51. It's like blue, slate, gray color.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, I can't wait till mine comes. When it comes, we don't know. So that's how solid of a deal this is.
Might be 2022 when you get delivery of your 21 vehicle.
100%. I think it will be. I mean, I think we're probably looking at 6 months. I'm not positive. So I appreciate it, Jeff. There's your shout out on the show if you're watching. So I mentioned last week we were supposed to get the pumpkins, the corn stalks, everything else, the straw bales, the decor. It didn't happen. I still haven't done it.
It's been like 80 degrees out here. Why would you get that stuff?
I'm behind. I'm a big early.
Nah.
When the calendar page turns November, you'll see a Christmas tree back here. I'm early up in regards to holidays. I try to be early down, but we had one of my sons soccer. My other son plays club baseball. We had all that going on. Notre Dame plays on Saturday. It didn't fit in. My birthday, there was a lot going on here. So still no, pumpkins, mums, corn stalks, etc. So, anyway,
Slacker.
last thing I want to talk about is, did you see the wild card news where they're going to put a wild card game on Monday now as
I
well?
did see that. So that throws off my whole Saturday.
I think there's 2 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, and the last one's on Monday. But I mean, it's all for the dollars. It's all about, television viewership and money. But that does I would think, a huge disservice to the team that has to play on Monday. I mean, I'm sure they're going to put them on Sunday of the following week, but I mean, that's tough. Playing on a short week.
Yeah. For the playoffs, it sucks.
It does. All right, let's do the beer review before we get into what happened last week. The beer review, it comes from the Platform Brewing Company. It is called Thinking Loudly, which I think very much so describes this show.
Oh, yeah.
Dan and I
Holy
thinking
smokes.
loudly.
8.5 alcohol.
It does. It's got a lot of stuff on it here. It says Play-Doh. You know what Play-Doh means? Besides Aristotle Play-Doh. 21.2. IBU 60. Notes. It says bright citrus. Do you take any notes for the show, Dan?
No notes.
Come on, man.
I can smell the citrus.
Wait, did you tell what it is? You like sours. That's the other reason why I picked it. Sour Imperial Hazy India Pale Ale.
That is good.
I knew he was going to like it. I knew he was going to like it.
I didn't know it was a sour. I did not even read that. That is good.
It's tasty. It is. I want to pause here for a second with the beer review.
Well, I'm going to interrupt you because we went to Porch Rocker in downtown Akron, and Platform was the sponsor, and they had a sour called Pink Martian.
Yeah.
But it was only 7.5, and that was freaking good.
Yeah, this is solid. I like it too. I don't want to miss. We have obviously lots of our family and friends view this show and things like that, but what really makes me excited, we have some viewers who don't know Dan and I from Adam. And they watch the show religiously. I really appreciate it. One of them is Robert Jones. And he says he's going to send, he lives in the south side of Chicago, and he says he's going to send a beer to us from, I want to say it was Blue Island. Robert, I don't know. I can't recall if it exactly. But yeah, we'll take them. We'll love to review them. So that'll be great. He's also
sweet.
I think he also is the one who referred to the show's much better without your knucklehead brother-in-law.
Oh, yeah, it is much better without Teddy here.
Dan agrees with Robert Jones, so thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I wanted to make sure I got you mentioned on the show. Last week, what happened? Dan did go. Dan 6-10. I middled. I went 8-8 on the season. I'll go first. I'm 23-24-1. I'm right there in the middle of things. Dan is well behind, 17-30-1.
I'm focused on my Pee Wee football team. I can't be distracted by this nonsense.
You win this week?
No, we lost 12-6.
Nothing's going right for Dan.
0-0 in the fourth quarter, and we lose 12-6.
What's going on? What's the record now?
We are 3-2, and if we win Saturday, we make the playoffs.
Is next week or this upcoming Saturday the last week of the regular season?
Yes.
Wow, that's a quick season.
Yeah, it's not nearly as long as when our kids played and we coached.
There was a time. Well, those who listen know Dan and I met each other out on the youth football field, Pee Wee football fields, and things like that. But I have very fond memories. We played a playoff game, and Dan mentioned how quick the season is and things like that. We played a game in November. I'm almost positive. But it snowed. It was in Revere.
The end of October. Yep. It was at Revere, end of October. And it was snowing. Yep.
It was. I was so excited. I text Dan, the game was early. I don't know, maybe 11, 12 or something like that.
Yeah, it was. But it snowed.
It
snowed pretty good.
I think I sent Dan a text picture. I was drinking a Bud Light in my garage at 6:30 in the morning because I couldn't sleep. I was excited for the game. I didn't know what to do. So that's what I turned to. But
that was good time. We ended up losing that game 7-6.
Yeah, it was.
It was a killer.
I remember the toughest player on the team. Do you remember the kid's name? And he got the referee basically accuses of faking an injury or something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Goodness. Yeah. There was a lot that went on in the game.
And I thought his dad, who was coaching with us, I thought he was going to kill that ref. Oh. I'm like, dude. I
don't know how he didn't get thrown out. I got thrown out of one youth football game.
The playoff game before that one.
And it wasn't
you were in the end zone watching the game.
I was. It wasn't. You were close to what Doug did that day, and I got thrown out. I got the quick hook. I think I got smarted the ref and made him feel bad about himself, and he threw me out. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's
Ejected. Youth game.
I remember calling you like, what the hell? You know, it's like, you're out for the next game. Like, Dan's like yelling at me. I'm like, I didn't even do anything. We're like yelling at each other over the phone. Anyway, that's that. We're on to football, I think. Thursday night football.
Oh, my God. What a game this is.
The Jacksonville Jaguars, who are 0-3, they go to Cincinnati to play the 2-1 Bengals. Cincinnati is favored by 7.5 points in this game. The over-under is 46. Jacksonville comes off a loss to Arizona at home. Cincinnati went in division and beat the Steelers. Let's talk about Jags first. We always talk about the away team first. Obviously, they're going through growing pains.
They suck.
They do. I mean, it's tough. Rookie head coach, rookie players all over the place, rookie quarterback.
Trevor Lawrence just does not look good. He's not. I mean, that last pick.
Yeah.
That was terrible. That was a terrible throw. Dabo Sweeney wouldn't let him throw that ball.
None of the rookie class looks really good in regards to the quarterback position. They were in that game, but they gave up the last 21 points. But they did get the rare kick six. Did you see that?
I did see that. Was sweet. I don't think I've ever seen that in an NFL game. When was the last time that happened?
Devin Hester again, and
he did it.
Yeah,
he returned one.
Yeah, New York Giants. It happened then. It was a 68-yard attempt by Matt Prater, I believe. It fell short,
which is insane.
It is insane, and we had a new record. We'll get to that Baltimore craziness that happened in that game, but. Yeah, what happens in that situation? People put a guy back because if it falls short, I mean, who's on the field to defend it? A bunch of fat guys is what it is, and a kicker.
Got a bunch of linemen, yeah. Maybe a couple guys on the end.
You're very susceptible.
Maybe 4 guys that have skill that can run with somebody that catches the ball.
Yeah. Obviously you got a lightning fast returner back there, and you're dealing with a bunch of fatties from the offensive line and a kicker who hasn't tackled anybody in his life. So You're susceptible when that happens. Cincinnati, once again, minus 7.5 in this game. Like I said, they went into Pittsburgh. There's a lot of optimism there in the jungle, you know.
I was shocked by what they did in Pittsburgh. I did not expect that at all. I mean,
I took the points with Cincinnati last week. Dan did play the Steelers last week, one of his losses. But, you know, we both like Joe Burrow, and the Burrow to Chase thing has been working. I mean,
it's been working.
There's 4 touchdowns already there. I like it to continue.
How the offensive line's been working. I thought that was going to be an issue with Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's been good enough. I mean, and Chase has been everything is advertised. I mean, they took him at what, 3, 2, 3, 4? I don't know. Some are very much so at the top of the draft. Cincinnati's minus 7.5 in this game. Who do you like?
Cincinnati.
So do I. I believe in Houday, and I think the crowd's going to be raucous. They haven't had a winner in a long time.
Yeah, and they love Burrow down there. I'm telling
you. What's not to love?
It's going to be nuts.
He can play.
Yeah.
And he plays with swag is my favorite thing. He plays with swag. He's not afraid, you know, to signal a first down when he's on a rushing thing and things like that. I like his swag. I like that team. You know, they're playing with a lot of confidence. I'm going to lay the 7.5 points as well. All right, starting the Sunday 1 p.m. slate, that would be the Tennessee Titans going to play the New York Jets. The Titans are 2-1. Jets, of course, are 0-3. This line is Tennessee minus 7.5. Last week, Tennessee won in division against Indianapolis. No, good division win. They used their formula. Tannehill played pretty well. You know, you run Derrick Henry, you salt games away, things like that.
Yep.
As far as the Jets, they lost out in Denver. They were shut out in Denver. You know, we talked about the rookie quarterback class looking bad, and Zach Wilson is right there.
Yeah, he's leading the pack.
He threw 4 picks. I mean, the Denver defense is solid. It really is. I mean, they're going through growing pains as well. Tennessee's minus 7.5 on the road. You gonna lay all the points on the road?
I don't know about this one.
You've never taken a Jets in your life.
Tennessee's defense is not as good as Denver's.
It's not.
You've got Derrick Henry, who both of us really like Derrick Henry.
What's not to like?
Tannehill, but I'm going with Tennessee. I can't pick the Jets yet. There's no friggin' way.
I got burned on them 1 week against New England. I think that was 2 weeks ago now. I'm not doing it either until I see more from that team. You know, Dan mentioned Tennessee defense isn't a juggernaut by any means, like the Denver defense, who's coming on and seems close to elite almost. But I'm going to lay the points as well with the Titans minus 7.5. Next game up on the board, the Kansas City Chiefs go to Philadelphia. The last place Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. Holy hell. The defense blows. Spagnola's got to go.
Dan's a big coaching guy. Chiefs are -6.5 in this game in Philadelphia. Kansas City comes off a loss at home to the Los Angeles Chargers. They haven't had a 2-game losing streak in I don't know how long.
Good for them.
Sent Big Red to the hospital.
Yeah. he had a heart attack.
I lost 2 games.
He's like, shit, Spagnola's killing me.
I don't remember the last time I lost 2 games. I got to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
I guess it was dehydration, things like that.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I'm sure he had a cheeseburger. He's fine. He's a big fan of cheeseburgers. I know that. So he's
Not
just
a
happy
fan
the
of his
damn masks are off.
Coordinator.
Couldn't breathe with those masks on last year. Philadelphia, they just come off a Monday night loss. Like you guys know, we shooting this on Tuesday as opposed to Wednesday. I still like Hurts. I think they have a decent offense. I mean,
they look like shit.
Yeah, I mean, Dallas.
They look bad. And I don't think Dallas's defense is that good.
Dallas leads the league in takeaways.
Well,
we'll talk about Dallas. They spent their whole draft on this. Chiefs are -6.5. This is tricky. I mean, what do you think of this one?
Chiefs.
Yeah. I'm not. They'll never freaking cover. They don't ever freaking cover. Ever. I'm not. I'm going to go with Philadelphia. I'm going to take the points.
Chiefs at Philly?
I'm going to take the points. They don't ever cover. Mm-hmm. I would be really surprised if Philadelphia wins this game. But it'll be like 3, 4, 6. I swear to God, they never cover. I'm going with Philadelphia.
The Chiefs just signed Josh Gordon. Look out.
Flash Gordon back in the house.
Smoke a weed and look out.
Showed up with a van. There's kind of smoke coming out of all the windows. I'm back in.
What's that guy?
No. Cheech and Chong?
No. Shit.
What?
Oh, shit. Napoleon Dynamite? What's the guy's
brother
that lives in the van?
I don't watch that
Randy,
weird
Rudy, something.
I don't watch that slapstick weird shit. You gonna stay on the Chiefs? I thought I almost convinced you.
Taking the Chiefs.
All right, Dan's got to make up some ground anyway. I'm on Philadelphia. That's our first game that we're at odds against each other. Next game on the board, Carolina goes to Dallas. Dallas is 4.5-point favorite. 3-0 Carolina going to play 2-0 Dallas. Carolina, they come off a win against Houston in Houston on Thursday Night Football, I believe it was, but they had some issues there in regards to injuries. They lost Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, they're done.
Hamstring, they're done? They lost J.C. Horn, too.
That hurts.
Stud cornerback.
They just fleeced freaking Jacksonville, though, and got that other corner.
I know. Last year's number 1 pick.
Yeah,
I want to say it was a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
C.J. Henderson. I think he's out of Iowa. I can't. Maybe I'm wrong about the Iowa thing. But, yeah, that makes no sense to me.
None.
I mean,
whatsoever.
You don't know what happens inside the halls and things like that, and maybe they're like he doesn't want to be a football player.
How'd you like to be that tight end that got let go from Carolina to go to Jacksonville? I'd be like,
Dan Arnold is who you're speaking of. Yeah,
shit.
that trade. That shocks me too because obviously Jacksonville's building for the future, and he was their number 1 draft pick last year.
I know.
I mean, to pull the cord that quickly is kind of shocking to me. It was kind of a stunner to me, but
it's stupid because of the contracts and the way they work. I honestly don't get it.
I tell you, Sam Darnold's impressed me. I watched that entire Thursday night football game, and last week Dan and I talked about Darnold doing Darnold things or hasn't really done Darnold things. He was great out of the pocket. I mean, he was on point, I thought. I mean, they got a good team. It's not just McCaffrey there, but they're going to play Dallas, who's playing really well. Obviously, they come off their Monday night win. Their offense is awesome. It's awesome.
They're loaded. I mean, and finally the running game looked like what it should with the 2 running backs they have with
Elliott and Pollard.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah,
that's just as good as what we got here in Cleveland with Chubb and Hunt.
Maybe. Elliott runs really hard, obviously. Pollard's a great back, too. I mean, I like what they have on offense. And their defense, they spent their entire draft on defense. Micah Parsons has become a defensive, difference on that team. It's kind of weird. He started out linebacker. They haven't been playing defensive end now.
Yeah, he looked good at defensive end. I mean, he was making some plays.
And I mentioned it earlier. They lead the league in takeaways. Takeaways are huge. You win the turnover battle like 80-90% of the time, you win the game. Dallas is -4.5 in this game. Is Carolina going to hang in here against this team?
No, I'm going with the Cowboys.
So am I. Dan's back on America's team. Dan likes America's team all of a sudden.
No, the America's team is the Browns.
Maybe that game will be on for you locally again.
Oh, I'm sure I get to see Dallas. Yeah, guaranteed. Wait, 1 o'clock?
No, yeah, I play.
Browns are playing at 1, so it doesn't matter.
I see them all
4
here.
o'clock. Is there an NFC East game?
There's a great game at 4 o'clock. I'm hoping you get it. We'll talk about it in a bit. We're both on Dallas -4.5. It's the firepower from Dallas. I'm going to give it. Next game on the board, the 0-3 New York Giants go to play the 2-1 New Orleans Saints. The Saints are 8-point favorites in this game. The over-under is 43.5.
The Giants, they're a mess. That offensive line is
They lost to
freaking
Atlanta
terrible.
at home.
Terrible.
We both picked them based upon their offensive performance against Washington
Yeah.
the week before. And I don't know how you only get 14 points against that Atlanta defense. I mean, they're a mess. They're internally a mess. I mean, Tony's upset. Galladay, the receiving core is upset with what's going on. That's just a mess. The Saints went into New England, and they got an early lead and didn't look back. And once again, Jekyll and Hyde team, what are you going to get from them? But that was a pretty impressive performance, in Foxborough.
Yeah.
They're -8. They look to be back on track. Do you get the good or the bad, Jameis? Are you a believer in Matt Rule and this Carolina football team? Oh, wait. Are you a believer, that the Giants can keep this game close?
Not Matt Rule, Joe Judge.
I know. I was reading the line above.
Yeah.
I played golf today, by the way. I had a couple of drinks on the course, so we're doing
Where's
well.
your golf?
What? Fairlawn Country Club.
Oh.
I putted so shitty. I had a chance at an eagle putt, like a 12-foot uphill eagle putt. I 3-putted. Anyway, not here nor there.
You could be the guy in that Spectrum commercial. When
What
he said,
Spectrum?
who's counting?
Shit.
And his buddy goes, everybody, it's the point of the game.
Yeah, I was so bitter. I mean, I used to lose my cool a little bit on the golf course at times, but I don't do that anymore. It's just a game. I'm out there to have fun and things like that. I don't play enough to really score. But anyway, that's completely off track. We both given it points. I mean, I don't know how you don't in this game. It's a lot. You gonna take the Giants getting 8?
I'm taking the Giants in this
Are
one.
you really?
Yeah, Jekyll and Hyde, with Jameis. I'm going to take the Giants. Dad, I'm not doing 8.
I'm not. I'm gonna lay the 8 points at the Saints. Part of it's because the Saints actually get to play in front of their hometown fans for the first time this year. The Mercedes-Benz Dome or whatever it's called now, used to be called Superdome.
Electricity?
Yeah, the roof's not on fire. The roof
Air
is not
conditioning?
on fire anymore. So Dan, our odds, he's gonna take the G-Men, getting the 8 points. I'm on the Saints -8. Next game up, Dan's Cleveland Browns go travel up north to the Minnesota Vikings. Cleveland is 2-1. They are 1.5-point favorites going to Minnesota. Minnesota is 1-2. Let's talk about Cleveland, their win over Chicago.
Well, it's a win. Everybody's heaping praise on the defense. Yeah, the defense looked good. Chicago only had 47 total yards on offense. I mean, that's Chicago's issue. I mean,
We're going to talk about Coach Shelley because I have a big issue with the coaching staff and what happened with Justin Fields. We'll get to that when the Bears come up on the board.
wait, whoa, I'm not done.
Okay.
The 4.5 sacks Myles Garrett got.
He wrecked the game.
But, we had 9 total, but your offensive line sucks. I mean, your left tackle is, 39 years old?
Jason Peters
Come on.
off the scrap heap. He was fishing in a stream when the Bears called him.
I need Myles Garrett to have 4.5 sacks in Kansas City when we played them.
Dan's like last.
Well, he hasn't showed up until the Chicago game,
Right.
and that's great. You had 4.5 sacks. We had 9 as a team. Great. That's for if you want to celebrate that, fucking do it when it counts.
Dan asked for Myles Garrett to show up. All of a sudden, he's second in the league in sacks now with 4.5.
Yeah. Well,
That's
okay.
ridiculous.
Well, we'll
But-
see what happens against Minnesota.
Well, and the other
Show up,
thing,
Miles. I'm going to see at least 3 sacks in this game.
the defense played well. It did, I think. They got Beckham back for the first time, and he was
He looked good.
he was wildly involved in the offense. I mean, he caught.
JOK looked good.
He did,
I like that
Notre Dame
kid.
guy. Yeah, sure. I mean, they all look good, unfortunately. They're -1.5 Minnesota. Minnesota won a game against Seattle. Minnesota, let's talk. I want to talk Minnesota for a second. They if you ask me, they should be 3-0. They lost the overtime game in Cincinnati opening week. Dalvin Cook put the ball on the ground. I didn't think it was a fumble. The review was forever and was upheld. They were in field goal range at that point in time. And then they go to Arizona against a pretty good football team against Arizona. They shove a 43-yard field goal at the buzzer right, lose the game. They come home. They play Seattle. Cousins was great. They got down early in that game, but they came back, and Seattle's defense sucks, if you ask me. I mean, I think Cousins playing well. They didn't even have Dalvin Cook play that game. He was out.
I hope he's out.
I do
this
like their
week.
backup Madison, but I don't. Yeah, and once again, it's Tuesday, not Wednesday. Wednesday is the first day that the injury reports come out, so we don't have this information whether or not Dalvin Cook's going to play. But Cleveland's minus 1.5 going to Minnesota. What do you think?
I'm taking the Browns with that. I mean, what the hell?
I think the Vikings are going to beat them. I do.
That's fine.
No, I'm not trying. I don't care if I hurt your feelings. Is that what we're talking about right now?
Well, no, because they're going to beat Chicago.
Yeah.
Twice.
Who? Minnesota? They're not. Hold on. We're not talking about that. That doesn't come up for a few weeks. But
You're talking about
I know.
hurting feelings.
I mean, I think Cleveland's a tremendous team on paper. They are.
Screw that. The Vikings aren't going to beat. Get the hell out of here.
I think it's tough. I don't know.
Stefanski's going back home. Do you think he's going to lose to Minnesota?
That's a good point.
No.
I don't
Get
know
the
about.
hell out of here. That's stupid.
Yeah, break the set.
Yeah, I'm getting pissed off.
Hey, do you put your elbows on the table like when you're eating dinner?
No, I don't put my elbows on the table when we're eating dinner.
My wife's family's big
I'm
about
freaking here
dinner
at the
table
podcast.
etiquette.
I can put my elbow wherever I want. Like,
Fine.
stand up on this chair and freaking drop it on your head.
Dan and I are arguing now. I don't know. He's on Cleveland. I'm taking Minnesota. I think they're going to win the game outright. It's not a money line play. It's 1.5. You won't get shit for juice. Don't worry about
That's
that.
why I picked Cleveland.
Yeah, I like. I don't know. This is a toss-up game. Obviously, Vegas thinks it's a toss-up game as well. So, next game on the board, Dan was mentioning my Bears. Starting to rough on them a little bit already. But Detroit, they're 0-3. They're a hard luck 0-3. They go to Soldier Field to play the Chicago Bears. Chicago is 1-2. Chicago has been installed as a 3-point favorite. The over/under is low in this game, 42.5.
Battle for the bottom of the division.
Bears are tied for second.
What do you mean? So
Green Bay's 2-1. Minnesota's 1-2, and the Bears are 1-2.
if Detroit wins, though,
I
They're in
understand
the
that.
middle
We're
of
not
the
talking
mix.
about that. Detroit, the Fighting Dan Campbells, as I like to refer to them as.
holy shit.
They play with heart. And if you ask me, they got hosed a little bit in the Baltimore game.
They should have beat the Ratbirds.
They should have. I mean, Goff looks good. It came down to Detroit got a score really late and took the lead. And Baltimore made it to the 48-yard line. They converted a 4th and 19 play.
Yeah, well, how does that happen? I mean, that's probably the biggest issue.
Dan was getting ready to leave. There was an alarm going off at his house. He had been here for the Bear game for my
Somebody
birthday.
broke into my house.
I called Dan back. I'm like, Justin Tucker's going to attempt, NFL record 66-yard field goal. Come watch this shit. But what happened in the play forward where they're trying to dead the clock at 3 seconds or 2 seconds or whatever it is, the play didn't even get off. It was a good 2 seconds late. They 100% should have delayed a game.
Yep.
They didn't call it. More bad refereeing. It would have shoved him back. There's no chance that Justin Tucker makes a 73 or I guess 66 goes to 71 yard field goal. But he banged the 66. I wouldn't say through. It hit the crossbar and took a huge leap up into the net. Like, it was unbelievable, that game. I can't believe it. I would have been pissed if I was a Cleveland Brown fan if that happened. But
we beat the Ravens with a kick like that, though, one year.
Ravens escaped that game, but we're not talking about the Ravens. We're talking about Detroit. They play hard. They're in Chicago. Chicago's -3. I mean, as far as the Bears go, I mean, it was a debacle in Cleveland. And I'm pissed. I like
Matt Nagy should have been fired.
I don't even disagree with that. I'm a big fan of Matt Nagy and his enthusiasm. He set his quarterback up to fail.
Totally.
He didn't set it up in the first, half a dozen plays. The Bears came out fine. But meanwhile, it was pretty evident that the Bear offensive line could not block Myles Garrett. They couldn't block Clowney. They couldn't block shit. And there was no 2 tight end sets to help block. There was no running back to chip, on the edges and things like that. He set him up to fail, and I'm pissed off about it. I think Matt Nagy needs to give up the play calling in Chicago. I think it should be Bill Lazor. He gave it up last year at one point. The running game took off. The offense was a little bit better, but he's on thin ice with, I think, everybody. I mean, there was talking heads from the mothership ESPN saying this is not negligence. This is more than negligence. He should be fired. And there's a lot of people agree with that. We don't even know who's starting at quarterback for the Bears this week. I mean, once again, Tuesday, not Wednesday. Feels banged up his hand a little bit. I think he's going to be fine.
Everybody in Chicago scratching their head going, wait, was Mitch Trubisky that bad?
Nagy cannot force a square peg into a round hole. He's got to fit the offense around Justin Fields. He's cleared the franchise. Stop running your fucking shitbag offense and let Fields do his thing. Anyway, that's a lot. I probably shouldn't be cussing that much.
No.
Bears are -3. What do you think?
I'm going with Detroit.
I won't.
Well, I know you're not going to, but
I would.
Their offense blows. If they do the same shit, and now it's who's going to play quarterback? Is it Fields, Dalton, or Foles?
The Foles not going to play.
It doesn't matter if he's calling the play. They look like shit.
They do.
It's awful.
Their defense is still good. I mean, they hung in. I mean, the Bear defense got tired in Cleveland because they were on the field the entire day.
The defense played a hell of a game. I mean, at the beginning of the game, we went for it on 2 consecutive drives on 4th down.
Stuff them both times. Stuff them both
what
times.
the hell?
100%.
I mean, I was panicking then.
Yeah, I mean, it was a game through the half, and then the Bear defense just got tired, and obviously the Bear offense was anemic, and we've talked about the issues with it. I'm going to lay the points for Chicago. I think Fields starts. I'm hoping that I hope Matt Nagy is humble enough to give up the play calling to Bill Lazor. I really do.
He's not.
You don't think so?
No.
Not this week yet?
No.
Anyway, I'm on Chicago -3. Dan is going to take the Fighting Dan Campbell's. I don't blame him getting the field goal. Next game up on the board, Houston goes to play Buffalo. Houston, they're 1-2. Buffalo's 2-1. This is a monster line. Buffalo's favored by 17 points in this game.
It's insane, and just because of this, I'm going with Houston on this one. I mean, Houston
Dan's
sucks,
not willing to give up.
I'm not going
2
17.
touchdowns and a field goal.
No way. No way. Houston had a hell of a game last week, but the previous 2, they didn't look good offensively.
Right.
So I'm not 17. No way.
Mills might look the best out of all the rookie quarterbacks so far.
He does. I think you're right.
The 3rd-round pick out of Stanford. They lost that game against Carolina on Thursday Night Football. I watched the entire thing. I mean, they play hard. Buffalo, I mean, they seem to be getting together. Josh Allen looks back to himself kind of here. They won against they destroyed the Washington football team. They put up 43 points against Washington. And we're going to talk about Washington's defense in a second. Let's not go there quite yet. Buffalo's -17. You're on Houston. I'm going to go with Dan. I'm going to take the points. I mean, if there's a team that's getting 17 points and it's not the Jets, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
And that's Houston. So I'm taking the points with 17. Dan are in agreement. Next game on the board, Indianapolis. They are 0-3. Wow. There's a lot of desperate teams that are 0-3.
Wow.
They go down to Miami, play the Miami Dolphins, who are 1-2.
1-2.
Indianapolis the line is Miami -1.5. Like I said, Indianapolis is 0-3. They lost a division game to the Tennessee Titans, which, you know, it's not only one game back, it's a loss in division. Who are the 2 teams that are going to be fighting for that? I mean, Houston's not going to be there, and Jacksonville's not going to be there at the end of the day. You know, Indianapolis, they're kind of middling with Wentz, and obviously he's playing a little bit hurt. You know, they're struggling, and they're desperate. Miami, they played a crazy game against the Raiders. I don't know if you saw. You were at Eric's and your mom's birthday party.
Yeah, I saw some highlights, but crazy.
Miami went up 14-0.
I know.
They gave up the next 25 points in the game, got the next 11, and then lost the game in overtime. And they got a touchdown late and a 2-point conversion. Brissett's still the quarterback. Tua's still in that mini IR thing. I think he has another week or so to go in regards to that before he can play with his rib injury. But Miami's -1.5 in the heat down in South Florida against Indianapolis. What do you think?
I'm going with Miami.
So am I. I don't care about the desperation. I think Miami's a decent football team. I love their defense still.
Defense is good.
I like the heat factor. I don't know. I haven't checked the weather forecast, but I like Miami. I'm still bullish on that football team and Tua coming back and what they can do. I like that line a lot. I'm on Miami -1.5. I haven't thought about my elephant pick yet, but I like that line. Next game up on the board, the last of the 1 o'clock games. It's Washington going down to play Atlanta. Both these teams are 1-2.
Holy shit! Thank God this is 1 o'clock because this would probably be on at my house if it was a 4 o'clock game.
This game shows nowhere except in
Jeez.
in the what do they call that belt in Washington D.C.?
The Beltway.
Beltway, yeah, it's in the Beltway and down in Hotlanta. That's it. That's the only places that the place is going to show. This game's going to show. Washington is -1. I mean, it's almost a pick'em game. Washington got destroyed in Buffalo. And let's talk about the Washington young defense who gave up 43 points to the Buffalo Bills. What the hell's going on here?
And I think we talked Jack Del Rio, right?
Yes, it is Jack. I checked it this week. Dan, we were unsure. Dan thought it was Jack Del Rio. He's correct.
I don't know what the hell is going on.
Dan wants to fire Jack Del Rio, too.
Yeah, he should be fired with Nagy. There's a lot of coaches I think should be fired.
Dan's ready to fire people in September.
Seriously, I'm like, dude, what the hell? There's no way Washington's defense should be that shitty.
I mean, Taylor Heineke's the quarterback of Washington. He can spark teams, but
I
don't know if he can be a quarterback in the National Football League. I mean, he can spark teams, but I don't think he can carry teams.
Dude, this game, I got to take Atlanta because they're at home. And not because of Matt Ryan or anything, just because they're at home. Matt Ryan, I think, blows. I said this, last year? I don't know how he got the nickname Matty Ice.
Well, their offensive
sucks.
line stinks. He's a statue.
He's good for a turnover every game. He's going to get fumbled. Chase Young. Oh, mate, I might change this. Oh, shit.
Here's the thing. We haven't heard anything Calvin Ridley. He's a great receiver.
It's because quarterback blows.
It's not the quarterback. It's the offensive line. Ridley runs a lot of deep crosses, deep balls, things like that. There's no time to run those plays because the offensive line is such a mess. I'm going Washington. I'm
changing. I'm going with Washington, too.
Wow. Sorry, Teddy. We're both on Washington. Dan's still pissed at you from your performance. I don't know why. No, I'm just kidding. We both love you.
It has nothing to do with your performance, Teddy. It's just that your team sucks.
It does. It does. All right, that was the last of the 1 o'clock games. The 4 p.m. slates with Seattle at San Francisco. These teams.
Man, I hope I get to watch that game.
What about the next one up on board? We'll talk about a second. The NFC West plays each other this week.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Seattle goes to San Francisco. San Francisco is a 3-point favorite. Seattle lost up in Minnesota, or across in Minnesota, I guess I should say. They're both way up there. San Francisco's been installed as a 3-point favorite in this game. Over-under is 52.5. Seattle's offense is fine. Their defense sucks. I mean, sucks. They've given up the most yards in the National Football League. There was some thing playing behind me before Dan got here. I was listening to the Talking Heads on the mothership. And I learned that they've given up more yards than any other team in the National Football League. Seattle has scored 62 points in the first half, and I think I heard 13 points in the second half. Like, they start off hot, but they just, I don't know what happens here. I mean, obviously Russ is a proven commodity and things, but their defense is horrible. San Francisco -3. They lost that great game at home.
That game was unbelievable. Did you stay up to see it?
I did. Oh my God, work hates me.
Holy hell! Yeah.
Work hates me. I mean, I couldn't turn it off. We'll talk about the Packers in the 37 seconds and all that bullshit that went down. But I mean, Garoppolo played well. I mean, Kyle Shanahan brought in Trey Lance.
He played okay. Kept him in the game.
He did.
He lucked out. There were some calls that went their way. I'm still not sold on Garoppolo.
Well, I don't. Obviously, the San Francisco regime isn't sold on Garoppolo either. That's why they drafted Trey Lance 3. You tired?
No.
Fire back another beer. San Francisco -3 in this game. I'll go first. I'm going to lay the points. I think the 49ers are a better team. I think they're a better overall team. I think they're a better defensive team. They're at home. I'm willing to lay it. It very well could be a field goal game, but I don't think Seattle goes into San Francisco and wins this game.
No, I'm picking San Francisco in this too.
All right, fair enough. Dan and I are in agreement on this game. We talked about the NFC West playing each other. This is the best game on the board, if you ask me. The Arizona Cardinals. They are 3-0. They go to play the Los Angeles Rams, who are equally 3-0. By the way, the Rams are my Super Bowl pick, and they look the part. Arizona. The Rams are 6-point favorites in this game. The over-under is 54.5. That's a big number, especially that Ram defense. This is by far the best division in the National Football League. I think Arizona's probably a top 10
I think
team.
our division is the best. But.
No way. No freaking way. Do you look at those teams? We just talked about Seattle, San Francisco. Now we're talking about Arizona and Rams.
Yeah.
We're okay. 32 teams. Where would you rank Arizona in the 32 teams? Top what? 7, 8, 9, 10? 16?
Yeah, I don't know.
They're in the top 10. They're probably the third best team in that division. I mean, I think San Francisco's a better team than Arizona, but I think Arizona's a top 10 team. I mean, this is just a great division. Stafford looks tremendous.
I was a little skeptical when he got there. I mean, coming from Detroit, and the Rams do.
He's right. And Dan didn't. I mean, to Dan's credit and things like that. I saw Stafford week in, week out because I would pay attention to the NFC North, and obviously he played the Bears twice. He's a great fucking quarterback. I mean, and now he's got great players around him, and he's showing that.
Got a good defense.
I don't know. I think this game's going to be.
I'm on the Rams.
They're my Super Bowl pick. I'm going the other way. I'm taking the Cardinals. I think that's a big number. I thought when these lines come out, I like to guess at them and not look at them before they come out.
That's a big number, but...
And I thought this line was going to be 4. That's what I thought. So I thought it was going to be 4. I think it's a 3-4 game. I don't know. It could go wrong. The Rams' defense is considerably better than Arizona.
Wait, what was the line last week when the Rams played Tampa Bay?
It was short, like nothing.
Yeah, and what was the final?
34-24. The Rams are freaking good, dude.
I know, that's what I'm
I
saying.
mean, they're showing out. There's no two ways about it. They had a great win against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's defense is struggling. I mean, the Rams are a good offense, but Tampa Bay's defense is struggling.
Yeah, their defensive
We'll talk about that. They're still on the board. I'm taking Arizona points. You're on the Rams?
Yep.
All right, fair enough. Next game up, Pittsburgh goes to play Green Bay. Green Bay is 7-point favorites, rightfully so. The Steelers are 1-2. The Packers are 2-1 off that thrilling win against San Francisco, but Pittsburgh lost.
Bottom of the division, baby.
They're in last. They lost to Cincinnati a division game last week. Their offense is an absolute wreck. Their defense is beat up. I mean, here's the thing. Their offensive line's so bad. I think they need mobility at quarterback. I mean, and Rudolph and Haskins both run a hell of a lot better than Ben. I mean, is there a quarter? Could there possibly
put
be
Mason Rudolph in? Yeah.
Could there possibly be a quarterback change where Ben's not hurt and they go to Rudolph or Haskins?
No, I don't see that.
You don't think they'd ever do it?
No way.
Why? Because it's Tomlin and it's the Rooney family and it's that whole family thing. We are family bullshit.
No, I mean
the offensive line's terrible.
It's terrible. They should have addressed it. My buddies I think we only have 6 offensive linemen on the team.
Yeah,
but we carry 3 quarterbacks.
It's hard to find offensive linemen.
What?
It's hard to find offensive linemen. I mean, they're a hot commodity.
How many colleges are there in the country, and they all have 5 offensive linemen, and you can't?
It's not like you can pull an offensive lineman off a practice squad from another team and plug them in and they can play.
Come on.
I mean, it's coaching. You got to coach shit up.
Yeah,
I get that.
You got to coach shit up. And the Browns, we have a great offensive line coach in Bill Callahan.
Green Bay's -7, like I said.
I'm taking the Packers. Screw the Steelers.
I mean, here's what happened in San Francisco. San Francisco got the late. San Francisco, give them credit. They were down 17-0. They went back. They battled back. They took the lead with 37 seconds left.
Steelers weren't going to do that against Green Bay.
I know that. I guess it was too much time for Aaron Rodgers. I have no idea.
37 seconds. Yeah.
I have no idea how they were able to complete 2 passes to probably the best receiver in the National Football League, Devontae Adams. I don't know how the hell they got in field goal range, but. Rodgers trots off. He's like,
think the NFL's fixed.
It's not fixed, but how the hell? I mean,
really?
You don't bracket Devontae Adams, but unbelievable. Mason Crosby banged the 51-yard field goal through the uprights. It was right down the middle, and much to my chagrin, the Packers won that game. They're -7. Dan's already declared, right? You're on the Packers?
Yep.
I'm with you because I need to see more from Pittsburgh. I need to see more from Pittsburgh. I think they're going to get demolished. I do.
4 o'clock game, I'm having the cheese head on. I'll send you a pic.
Yeah, don't come over here.
Yeah, I might drive by.
Dan never comes over on Sundays. He came over for my birthday because he's my buddy. I don't know if I ever want to see him again on Sundays. I'm better off on my own. The Bears seem to do better when I'm by myself. My kids like to congregate out here. I tell you what, it's better when I'm just by myself. I don't get in trouble. My wife doesn't yell at me for cussing. It's all better when I'm isolated by myself out here on
Ken
Sundays
didn't
at
have
1
to
p.m.
cuss because he, I think, realized early that his team just sucked.
They made it through
Because of his
halftime.
coach.
The offense was a debacle. We're not going there. We're done with that. This show's running along. I guarantee it is. All right, the last of the 4 o'clock slate. Baltimore goes to play Denver. This is a fun game, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Baltimore's 2-1. The Denver Broncos are undefeated at 3-0. I talked early in the season about the Broncos and things like that. It's not only and I talked about how much of a more difficult route the Chiefs were going to have through the playoffs because I thought the teams were better. We'll talk about the Raiders in a second. They're Monday Night Football. And we'll talk about Denver. Denver's 3-0. Baltimore's 2-1. Like I said, Denver is a 1.5-point favorite in this game. Are you shocked by that line?
No, because Baltimore squeaked out wins.
They escaped. Escaped Detroit. Dude, Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown, I think is his name, dropped like 3 short touchdown passes.
Yeah.
I didn't see the game because it played up against the Bears. They aren't ball. We didn't see the game. But until the very end with the crazy field goal bullshit. But I saw the highlights, and all those balls need to be caught. I mean, they weren't even contested hardly,
Right.
and he dropped them. There's missed opportunities for Baltimore, and they have Lamar, and he's a difference maker, and blah, blah, blah. Denver's got an elite defense, though, if you ask me. And
Yeah, no, I agree.
they got playmakers. They got another injury, though, this week. KJ Hamler, the kid from Penn State. Do you remember him? The slot guy. He's like a little water bug guy.
Yeah.
ACL, gone for the year. Judy's still out. So they're missing some of their playmakers in this game. Denver's -1.5. Denver hasn't played anyone. The cupcake situation's over for Denver. They played the Giants, the Jets, and the Jags.
I'm taking the Ravens.
I know. So am I. I mean,
Excuse
Denver-
me, the Ratbirds.
if Denver had beaten a more quality team than the other three,
Right.
Once again, the Giants, the Jets, the Jags,
Yeah.
like anybody, if they would have beaten the Bears, even I might consider them. Which seem to be bottom feeders, but we're not going to harp on that. I'm on Baltimore too. I mean, I love where Denver is in this game. Their competition has not been.
No.
I mean, they're probably.
They might as well play my Pee-wee team.
They're probably, we're talking about the Giants, Jets, and Jags. They're probably 32, 31, 30 in regards to power rankings. So, so we're both on Baltimore getting the 1.5. So not a money line play once again. It's too short of a line. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Sunday Night Football, the Tom Brady revenge game. Tom Brady goes back with his Tampa Bay Buccaneers to New England. Tampa Bay's what?
Did you see the promo for this Sunday night?
No, I haven't.
With Adele's "Hello."
Hello. Yeah, I like that
Yeah,
song.
between
You like Adele?
Brady and Belichick, it's me.
That's awesome.
We haven't
No, I haven't seen
I'm
it.
like, oh my god, this is so gay.
That's awesome. The Bucs lost to the Rams last week. They're 2-1. New England is 2-1 as well, I think. Am I right? No, they're 1-2. I forgot to mark those on the board. Tampa Bay is a 6.5-point favorite in this game going to England. We mentioned Tampa Bay. They lost that game to the Rams. Their defense seems to be struggling a little bit. The offense is fine. They didn't have Antonio Brown last week, COVID. I don't know if he's back or not. Once again, no injury
Antonio
report.
Brown doesn't make that team.
He doesn't, but he adds to the playmaker
Oh,
stuff.
Get out of here.
New England, they lost at home to New Orleans. They got beat soundly, and it's not they got down early is what really happened, and that's not a
Right.
team that's built to
No.
come from behind.
Agree.
I mean, they're a run team first, and then Mac Jones play action things
Control
like
the
that.
clock.
Yeah, when that team, they're just not built to come back.
What's the running back's name that got hurt too?
New England,
Yeah, White.
Jamel White.
Yeah, didn't he get hurt?
Maybe. I mean, they run like a stable of running backs. Nobody kind of strikes you as, a lead back for New England. Tampa Bay -6.5.
Well,
You're crazy. This is a runaway win for the Buccaneers. Tom Brady's
I
going to
got
destroy
Tampa Bay
them.
winning this 6.5.
Dan's got coaching issues. That's what you have.
I
Dan has
do have coaching
Belichick
issues.
envy problems.
I'm going with Tampa Bay in this.
I think they're going to wreck them.
Yeah, no,
I do. I think
agree.
they're going to wreck them. I think
You got
Gronkowski's
Tampa,
going
you
to
got Gronk, Brady.
spike the ball
Yeah,
on
yeah,
somebody. I don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
I think they're going to destroy him. I do. It might be my elephant. I haven't decided yet. All right, that was Sunday Night Football. Monday Night Football game, great game. It's that AFC West that's great. I mean, usually we don't get good games on Monday night, I feel like. Usually kind of clunkers and things like that. The Raiders, they are 3-0. The Las Vegas Raiders. Just win, baby, 3-0. They go to play the Los Angeles Chargers, who are 2-1, coming off a monster win in Arrowhead against the Kansas City Chiefs, plummeting the Chiefs to last place in that really good AFC West division. The Chargers are minus 3.5. The over-under on this game is 52.5. A big number. The Raiders, I mean, they kind of played a back-and-forth weird game. I mean, they gave the first 14 points to the Dolphins. We mentioned earlier. They got the next 25. You know, the Dolphins got the next 11. And another rare thing that happened, there was 3 scores in the overtime. The Raiders got the ball first. They got a field goal, so the Dolphins got a chance to tie. They go down, enough field position to get a field goal, and then the field goal kicker for the Raiders, they got back in position, banged another one through with like a minute and a half left or something like that. So they end up winning a weird 3-score overtime game in a wildly back-and-forth game against the Dolphins. So Derek Carr, yeah, not David. Like, sometimes I confuse him. Derek Carr's been playing lights out, if you ask me.
He's freaking phenomenal. I think he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the NFL.
He's playing great. Good for John Gruden. I like him. I thought he was maybe the game had passed him by, but that team's playing well. I like that Max Crosby kid, man. He plays with a freaking motor. Reminds me of Jared Allen. You remember how Jared Allen used to play with like his fucking hair on fire? Like that's how that Max Crosby guy plays. And you talk about just win, baby. It's just win, baby. Al Davis' slogan. I mean, that game against Baltimore it was at night. Was that Monday night too? They played 2 Monday night games? Or was that a Sunday night game?
I can't remember.
The Raiders been in prime time a lot. Was it Thursday? It was a late game. It was at night.
Yeah, it was.
I remember like struggling to stay up. The Chargers, they went into Kansas City. Justin Herbert, as advertised. And I love Brandon Staley. They're playing the Chiefs, and I think Dan and I talked about it. I mean, you got to go for it on 4th down when you're playing a team that it has the firepower the Chiefs have and things like that. He went for 2 4th and medium plays late in the game that paid off. And he said Herbert's the best player on the field. Mahomes was on that field, by the way. But their head coach, Brandon Staley, said, I got the best player on the field in Justin Herbert. I'm going to roll with him. It paid off. They scored a touchdown. They came out of Arrowhead with a win. They're minus 3.5. Are the Raiders going to hang with this team?
I think the Raiders have lucked out. I'm going with the Chargers.
I'm going with the Chargers. Well, I think lucked out is wrong in regards to that. I think the Raiders are a pretty good football team.
They're pretty good, but...
I mean, they played a couple games that could have went the other way. Yeah. I mean, I guess luck is right. I mean, that's not a bad term, I suppose. They found a way to win. You're right, though. I mean, they could be 1-2. I mean, Dan's right about that. I love the Chargers. I love their young defense. Oh, dude. There was a big interception late in that game, and it was the Hawaiian safety kid from Notre Dame. I'm going to get the name like half-ass right. Alohi Gilman or something like that?
The kid that was in the Navy.
Yeah.
Like came from Navy.
Does it sound right? Like Alohi Gilman?
Yeah, that was it. He was number 11.
Yeah. He got a huge interception late. Mahomes throwing a few interceptions. Anyway, I talked about this game for a bit. We're both on a charge minus 3.5.
Yep.
That's the entire National Football League slate. I picked 2 college football games. By the way, Dan and I are 4-3 on the season. We started out a little bit sluggish. We're at least on top on this now. We got 2 of them. We're going to see if we can go to 6-3. The first one, game day is at. It is an SEC battle. The Arkansas Razorbacks, who are ranked 8th out of nowhere in the country, go between the hedges to play the Georgia Bulldogs in Athens, who are ranked 2 in the nation. It's a huge number. Georgia's minus 18.5 in this game. Georgia, but they came off Arkansas came off a monster win against Texas A&M.
Yeah, I mean,
and it plummeted him. It skyrocketed him up the rankings.
Skyrocketed him up because the teams that are usually up there have lost and suck.
Yeah, I mean,
somebody else has to go up there. Why not Arkansas?
As far as Georgia, they beat Clemson opening week, which I thought was a huge game, and Clemson looks to suck, if you ask me.
Yeah,
and they played absolute cupcakes since then.
NC State. Come on, they just lost.
I know they're not a good.
And you know what's funny? And before I came over, because I'm grilling out, and I turned on the TV. I had chicken quarters for me and breast for my wife.
Dan's an empty nester. He doesn't even cook for kids anymore.
No, I threw the chicken quarters on the smoker at like 5:15. So I'm like, I gotta watch something. So ESPNU was replaying the NC State Clemson game from over the weekend, which I only saw
double overtime, right?
It's so freaking funny to hear these douchebag announcers that are so one-sided and wanted to blow Clemson. And it's so funny listening to what they have to say, knowing the outcome of the game, especially when Clemson lost.
Yeah,
it's hysterical. The freaking announcers crack me up because I was just laughing listening to the bullshit coming out of their mouth, and Clemson lost that game.
I 100% hear. I love talking football, so much as talking football. I tell you what, the quarterback class going into the NFL next year, it looks awful. I mean, Sam Howell looks shitty. That DJ kid, unpronounceable last name, Goulier or whatever his name is. Rattler, dude, there was calls. I watched that entire Oklahoma-West Virginia game because it was the primetime game on ABC. I mean, the crowd was chanting for a freshman named Caleb something. Like, we want Caleb, we want Caleb. Rattler looks like shit. I mean, who's coming out of that class? I mean, that looks like a horrific class to me. We're off target completely here. Georgia minus 18.5. Arkansas is not really built to come from behind. If they hang in this game, I think they're going to hang in it for good. It's the first quarter to me in Athens.
Yeah.
If they can survive the first quarter, I'm taking the Razorbacks getting the 18.5.
I'm taking them too.
Yeah, but they may if they get down by 2 touchdowns, lights out. They're not built to come. They're like the Patriots. They're not built. They're built to ground and pound. I mean, but the Georgia defense is elite in college football, and I think they get a dude back too this week. Tyree, somebody or another. I saw it. I was trying to do a little bit of research on this. Teddy, I love your Georgia defense.
Double pissed at us this week.
It's all about the first quarter, man. If Arkansas hangs in the first quarter, Danny and I win it. If your team goes up 2 touchdowns, lights out. You're a runaway winner. Drink as much as you can. But here's another problem I have with college football. I don't know. I have any idea how long the show is. What the F with all the good games being on at noon? This game's at noon. Get the hell out of here. This is
that game's at noon?
Yes, it's supposed to be at 8 o'clock, man, where you get all lubed up, ready to go, cheering for your team. Noon's a problem. I got kids. I got youth sports. I say youth sports, not youth sports. It's these kids like damn near adults now, so I have a hard time kind of transitioning from what I used to refer to as youth sports and the kids playing now, because all my children are, well, I'm 13 through 18 now. But in any event, 19. Sorry, Connor. All right, we're both on Arkansas to hopefully hang in the first quarter and not get destroyed in that game. The next game on the board, the 7th-ranked Cincinnati Bearcats.
I don't know why you put this one on, because I'm on Notre Dame. You're going to be on Notre Dame.
Against the 9th-ranked Fighting Irish from Notre Dame. There's a lot of intrigue with this game to me because there's a lot of...
Because Cincinnati doesn't really play anybody.
Well, there's a lot of tie-ins to this game. Do you know Cincinnati's favored in this game by 2.5 points in South Bend?
I can see that.
All right, Dan looked at the board. He said, they got a pretty dynamic quarterback in Desmond Ridder. The only time I saw Cincinnati was the game against Indiana. I wasn't terribly impressed by them against Indiana. Notre Dame, let's talk about what happened last week with Notre Dame. Jeff Cohn looks like shit to me.
Play the 3rd-string quarterback, we win.
Drew Pine, yes.
Yeah.
You know why? Well, he was on point with his passes, but he provides a lot more mobility, and we both know. Yeah. We talked about it in previous. Notre Dame was on the board, I think, 2 weeks ago. Usually a strong suit of that team is the offensive line. It's not this year. It's not. Their defense is kick-ass. I mean, the defense is great. And if they get a quarterback that has a little bit of mobility in regards to this stuff, I think they're college football playoff contender. They go through a gauntlet coming up. And it includes at Virginia Tech, it includes North Carolina and something else. This is the first of it. Drew Pine is the name of the kid. By the way, the connection with these teams. Brian Kelly came from Cincinnati. Notre Dame.
Yep.
Marcus Freeman, who was a coveted defensive coordinator, probably head coaching job, comes from Cincinnati. So there's a lot of tie-in with these games. Dan's itching to get off the set. We're both on Notre Dame, right?
Notre Dame.
All right, it's awesome. I think we had a great show. It was a lot of fun. I love talking football. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. Robert Jones, I'll be looking for the P.O. Box. I don't even know what it is. It's actually my neighbor's. I think it's P.O. Box 698. I think the zip code is 44685. If not, go back to week 1 is when I mentioned it. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching.
See ya.
All right, bye-bye.